St Cuthbert's Way, Part 1. 84 miles in 5 days from Melrose to Lindisfarne in May 2026. This beautiful psalm, Psalm 121, seems like a highly suitable introduction to this video due to its profound message of trust in divine protection and the fact that we are always protected from evil. It reinforces the purpose of pilgrimage and my strong belief that good always conquers evil. We should know that the power of love is stronger than anything else. St Cuthbert's Way first came to my attention when I was walking the Southern Upland Way in August and September 2026. The two trails cross in historic Melrose, where I spent the night while walking the Southern Upland Way during the autumn of 2025. And when I looked at the map and realised that St Cuthbert's Way starts in Melrose and runs across the Cheviots to Lindisfarne on the coast of Northumberland, I just knew that it had to be done. For several reasons. A. It would bring me one penultimate step closer to joining up my continuous footsteps all the way from Inverness to Land's End, with just the John Muir Way left to go. B. It is a pilgrimage route linking several sites associated with the life of St Cuthbert, and I have started to develop a penchant for pilgrimage routes, having already walked 9 different ones in Britain. C. It looked like there would be some splendid scenery en route. And D. I'm a sucker for a new trail. Not that it's new, because it first opened in 1996, but it was new to me. St Cuthbert was born in southern Scotland around AD 634 and died in the Farne Islands off the coast of Northumberland in AD 687. During the course of his life, he was the prior of Melrose Abbey and later became the Bishop of Lindisfarne, where he was buried. In 875, the monks of Lindisfarne took his remains with them when they were forced to flee the island following successive Viking raids, and ultimately these ended up in Durham Cathedral. Many miracles are associated with both his life and death. The trail is supposed to be 62 miles long, but I actually walked 84 miles due to the gradient, a total of 7,516 feet, which is not particularly challenging, and several off-piste diversions made either by accident or by design. It was a beautiful, highly social journey, taking in the Eildon Hills, walking along the River Tweed, linking up with the end of the Pennine Way in Kirk Yetholm, crossing the Cheviots, and finally staggering across the causeway to Lindisfarne. I met a lot of like-minded souls on my journey, many of whom had come from abroad, particularly from America. Having said that, it was not a motorway of walkers, and for most of the way I only had myself for company and was able to immerse myself in the beautiful countryside that I was walking through. Day 1, Melrose to Hairstains and Jedburgh, 19 miles. The official start of St Cuthbert's Way outside Melrose Abbey. The ruins of 12th century Melrose Abbey. My son and I saw this vehicle parked outside the Abbey when we were walking the Southern Upland Way in the autumn of 2025. Amazingly, it was still there, in exactly the same place, when I arrived in Melrose to start my walk. I took this as a good omen. My St Cuthbert's Way adventure started with the equivalent of several hard workouts in the gym as I set off from Melrose and ascended into the Eildon Hills, a place of mystery and magic. On my ascent, I bumped into these 4 guys from Utah, who subsequently became great trail mates. The Eildon Hills. One of the hills, the one on the left, is crowned by one of the largest Iron Age hill forts in Scotland, a former stronghold of the Votadini tribe until the arrival of the Romans. There are many legends associated with these hills which dominate the area for miles around. When we were walking the Southern Upland Way, they were visible for several days before we reached Melrose, and on St Cuthbert's Way they can be seen for several days after leaving Melrose. It is said that they are one of those entrances into fairyland where travellers risk being whisked away by the fairies into their magical world, where time and reality take on an entirely different nature. In classic fairy lore, these travellers usually re-emerge after what they believe was a brief sojourn there, and are surprised to discover that many years have actually passed while they were away. Since I'm writing this now, you will realise that I managed to cross the hills without being whisked away. It is also said that King Arthur and his knights are sleeping beneath the Eildon Hills, waiting to emerge once again when the country needs them. Maybe that time is nigh? Wood sorrel, one of the plants known as shamrock and dedicated to St Patrick, who used its trifoliate leaves to illustrate the Holy Trinity. It has traditionally had many medicinal uses due to its anodyne, antiscorbutic, astringent, diuretic, emmenagogue, expectorant, febrifuge, irritant and stomatic properties. But because it contains oxalic acid, overindulgence is not advised. The wildflowers along the trail were phenomenal. I counted over 50 different species in flower over the course of my 5 days on the trail. Pink, white and blue bluebells. Bluebells have been little used in herbal medicine due to their toxicity, although the bulbs have been used in folk medicine as a remedy for leukorrhea and as a diuretic or styptic, while the sap can be used as an adhesive. Certain extracts, water-soluble alkaloids, are similar to compounds tested for use in combating HIV and cancer. The Pant Well, a public water fountain in Bowden. I walked through seas of wild garlic, an edible plant which has antibacterial, antibiotic and possibly antiviral properties. Elm flowers. Water avens, which has traditionally been used for digestive tract problems, including diarrhea, IBS and ulcerative colitis. Crossing Bowden Burn. And another sea of wild garlic. Solomon seal. Like so many wild plants, Solomon seal has multiple medical uses, including the treatment of joint, respiratory, gastrointestinal and skin complaints. The trail runs along the River Tweed for about 4 miles. Leopard's bane, which is moderately toxic with anti-inflammatory, antiviral and antioxidant properties. Rocky trail along the Tweed. I had a great coffee at this little coffee shop and bookshop in St Boswell's. Tuberous comfrey. Like common comfrey, tuberous comfrey is good for the topical treatment of bruises and broken bones. Internal consumption is not advised. Maxton Kirk, which is dedicated to St Cuthbert. I then walked for 4 miles along the old Roman road, Deer Street, before meeting my taxi in Hairstains to take me to Jedburgh for the night. En route, I passed Lilliard Stone, which marks the grave of a legendary female Scottish warrior, Lilliard, who is said to have fought against the English at the nearby Battle of Ancrum Moor in 1545. Looking back towards Melrose and the Eildon Hills from Lilliard's Edge, I experienced a strange feeling of déjà vu here, but was unable to understand why, although I wondered if I had fought at that battle in a past life. Jedburgh Abbey, founded by David I in 1138 as an Augustinian priory. For the continuation of my journey along St Cuthbert's Way, please see my videos, parts 2 to 5.